equals having to do push-ups for helmets. They have to be upright. Is that what I saw there?
Helmets are, you can put them down a certain way so guys don't get hurt. They don't step into a helmet and lose an ankle or something like that.
How did today go?
Today was a little rusty. First day in pads. I thought they did a good job working with each other, but we got to be more physical.
Coach, you had mentioned last week you hope to get through that first week to kind of shake that rust off from spring break and kind of get these guys back into shape. Do you feel like they're getting into more of a playing shape here?
I do. You know, if you weigh football gear, depending somewhere between 7 and 12 pounds. So they're carrying 7 to 12 pounds on their back over a 2.5 hour practice. They did a good job running around. They're in better shape than they were last week. They need to be in better shape by this time next week as well. Give them 7 more days, they should be okay.
What's the main focus this week in particular, I guess?
You got to get back into the physical part of the game. We're trying to raise the underbelly to be as physical as we need them to be. We need the little brother to hit as hard as the big brother does so that we can all hit as one.
Did you sense, what was the mood like, I guess? Because I know we just talked to Ronde and he said this is when the real football starts, getting pads on. I guess, how was the mood this practice?
It's one of those deals where guys want to find out where each other's. People talk about it being a grind. It's not a grind. It's a find. It's not a grind. It's a find. Find out who's getting better. Find out who stayed the same, or find out who needs something to work on. And that's what we're out here finding. And what the family does is they test each other. The offense tests the defense tests the offense to make sure that everybody's moving along, not only in the physical strength, but the mental department as well.
Coach, through the first 4 practices, has there been anyone, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams, that has really kind of stood out to you so far?
No, sir. I mean, practice, we had one day today, and, I would say that Kayvon had a really good day today on defense. But outside of that, everybody's just trying to feel their ways out and getting ready to get back to the physical part of it.
How are guys filling the gaps of, Michael and Garrett and the guys that aren't going to be here next year?
We don't even, that team's in the past. That team is back there on December 31st before New Year's and the ball dropped. This is a brand new team, brand new family. We don't look at it that way. We look at it as opportunities for the next person to step up and show what they can do.
Some new voices on the coaching staff this year. Rocky on the defensive and the offensive line coach. Beck moving up to a full-time OC. How have you seen your players respond to some of these new voices?
Well, we've had changes here before, and the team is ran by the leadership of the football team. I mean, coaches get to stand out in front, but your team is only as good as your locker room leadership. And last year's group was absolutely amazing. They did a fantastic job. And what we're looking for now is who's going to fill those leadership voids with the young people that can bridge that communication with the coaches.
There are a couple of players who we know aren't on the roster anymore, Jacoby Morgan, Rob Hanna, a few others. Do you have any comments on them? Have they left the program? Are they in the portal?
Those guys are working on their academics, and we wish them the best.
Had a intense conversation with your QBs and OC.
Intense conversation?
Yes.
You had an intense conversation?
You had an intense conversation.
Oh, I was like, you had an intense conversation?
Just wondering what you were kind of not seeing that was up to your standards today from them.
They need to make sure they can feel me. There's certain things that I'm rooted in, and I've got a lot of flexibility in me, and there's certain things you don't bend on as a father, as a grandfather, as a coach, okay? And they need to understand exactly what those things are, that there's no gray with them.
How much of a test is this spring for Carlos and Justin in particular, not only in their on-the-field performance, but off-the-field stuff as well?
I don't know so much as a test. It gives us, both of those guys are getting an opportunity to not only work with Coach Beck, but also to work with myself and in their leadership roles in front of this team. And so much of who's going to be the starting quarterback, who's going to be the backup quarterback, who's going to be the next quarterback, a lot of that has to do not only with how the team looks about you as a leader, but also how you function with the coaching staff to the team, that bridge, once again. So they're getting an opportunity to shine in that situation, which is really cool.
Sticking with QBs, Garrett's big brace is off his arm now. Is there a timeline for when he'll be able to throw again or get that arm moving at all?
Yeah, we're not even looking at that. That's all the trainers and the doctors. They told us that he would be the same or better, like I said. And whenever they want him to throw, he'll throw. I don't even know the timetable. All I know is that He'll be back by August, ready to go, and that's okay with me.
So by August, start of fall camp is right now when you know he'll be back.
That's not the date I'm saying. I'm saying I know that when we start back in August, he'll be ready to go. So I don't know when officially he's cleared to throw and all that other kind of stuff.
Going off that, I guess just how cool is it to see him in more of like a coaching leadership role this spring?
You know, it is cool. Traditionally, when quarterbacks that I've had in the past have had a situation like this, they normally grow immensely. Now, the reverse side of that is what happened to Lamson. And when you have to sit out an entire year and you know you're not playing, and you have to watch and you get to see other quarterbacks make mistakes that you learn from, there's a lot of growth in that as well. Not as much as playing like Carlos did, but sometimes if you look at other people and you see yourself in there, you can clear up a lot of mental mistakes before you get an opportunity to get back on the field physically. So I think it's an outstanding situation for all three of them.
What kind of jump are you hoping to see from Orlando this spring?
Wow. You know, he has to be better. And you say, wow, he was first team all ACC. And without hesitation, he has to be better because people are going to find ways to stop him, so he has to grow. If he stays the same, he won't be as effective. And I know he wants to have an opportunity to be super effective, maybe even have an opportunity for the pros. So he's got to have immense growth, and he's working on it. He's doing that. Since all last week, he got better. And the key is to go back and watch the tape and make sure he got better today, one day at a time.
Any specific areas? I know he mentioned blocking, but I mean, he had such a good
say,
year last year.
I would say blocking would be something that he could really take a lot of pride in initially. But there's other things he's going to work on that I'm not going to go public with. But fantastic player.
He's been split out wide a lot, Coach. Would you officially deem him a wide receiver?
I would say he was split out wide. I bet you everybody's wanting to see the film. Or no, I wouldn't say that. I say he's all over the place. That's the way I would say it. Have fun figuring out where he's at.
Couple more for Coach.
Where's Stephen Thompson at in his recovery from his injury last year?
Not quite sure. He's supposed to be back by August once again, but we want to take it slow because we do not want to go backwards with him because he's so talented.
Has he kind of taken on a leadership role and on the sideline talking to some of those younger linebackers?
I would not say that yet. I would say that right now he's focusing on his academics and he's focusing on his rehab, which is the things he needs to focus in. And when he knocks those things out, then he can take a more of a role in the leadership department.
Coach, a position with a lot of turnover is the offensive line. What do you need to see from the new group this spring? What kind of progress do you need to see?
Consistency. You know, we've got a whole bunch of guys coming in at that position as well. So what we want to do is make sure those guys are consistent out there, and when the new guys come in for the summit, that they can teach them and help them. I mean, we get some days as coaches, but the most growth in the summertime is when the players and the team get together and they work on their own. So we got to make sure that these guys out here know what we want so they can teach the other guys when they come in.
Last one, if anybody's got it. Good.
All right.